Hi everyone, welcome back to A Maker Studios YouTube channel. My name is Lianep and I'm so glad that you are here with us today. Normally you'll find me on my own YouTube channel, DIY Beauty on Purpose, where I create my own home decor all on a budget. Before we get started with the craft, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using to create it, so that way you can take some notes and hopefully recreate yourself at home. All right, so before we get started with showing you what we're going to be using, I am going to show you what I did on the last video that I did for A Maker Studio. I did this beautiful sign. It used to be a floating shelf that I thrifted. We painted it with Amy Hauer at Home paints. We added the background that looks like it's faded using a mesh stencil. And we added a mesh stencil with a beautiful scripture, Ephesians 1:7, that says forgiven. And then we added, of course, some florals. I did distress the edges just a little bit. But I mentioned on that video that this shelf came with two other shelves, smaller ones. And I thought, how perfect would this be if we upgrade these two shelves into complementary signs that can go right next to this sign or even stand alone on their own. So they're going to look similar and complement each other, but they're not going to look the same. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do these so that they can match really well with this one. If you haven't watched the video where I did this one, after you watch this one, go and check out that one. I think you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to put this one to the side, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you what they look like all together. But all right, so needless to say, this is two items we're going to be using to flip. I love taking thrift store items and just reimagining them, and I thought when I saw these I just knew I wanted to create a sign because they're so thick and they actually can stand very well on their own. So we're going to use these. We're going to use some Amy Hauer at Home white paint, and we're also going to be using the same stencil that I used for that last one. We may use a different one from here, so that's for that. I'm also going to be using the same stencil that I used for the background to add backgrounds to these, and it may change here and there as things just kind of evolve. But let's get started to get this painted so that they can have enough time to dry, and then I'll get you through the process of what I'm going to do. As I did with the other one, we're just going to be painting the front, the two sides, and the top. I'm not going to be painting the back. And that's because it's already looking pretty, and I don't think it needs it. If it didn't look nice, I would paint it, but it don't need it. All right, so we are going to, like I said, paint the top, the sides, and the front. So I'm going to start with the sides first. And I'm not going to look for full coverage or perfection because we are going to distress these as well. And if you're wondering what is happening with my hand here, I had a procedure done a few weeks ago, and I had to get it wrapped up so that I don't, move it too much. So my mobility is limited with there's like a splint down here. So I'm just healing. It's not in pain. I feel great. I just have to use that for a few weeks. So you're probably going to see me transition from this one to a different brace. But it's just part of the process. So, but I'm able to still work and get my crafting done, which I'm happy about that. All right, but we're going to paint this other one as well. And then get to the front. This was a great find. I go to the thrift store, not as much as I used to. I love doing thrift flips. I do them all the time on my channel. And I just love recreating things, using them completely different to what they were meant to. It's just so fun. So fun. Amy Hauer at Home paint is fantastic, by the way. If you've never tried it, I highly encourage you to at least try it with one of these little sample size bottles. I think it's such a good quality paint. A little bit goes a long way. And if you've never visited A Maker Studios website. Everything's linked down below in the description box. You can go check it out and purchase the supplies that I am using, paint and stencils, and then give them a try. I think you are going to fall in love and be obsessed, because I know I am. All right, we're gonna let this dry. So you can see I'm not painted it completely because I'm gonna distress the edges anyways, and I think it looks cute like that. I'm gonna let these dry and we're gonna come back and start adding some stencils. All right, so this one is fairly dry and you can see a lot of the brown in it, or the gray underneath it. I'm actually gonna leave it like that because I kind of like that look. So we're gonna start with that. All right, so here's the stencil that I used for the background for the other one. And with the technique that I used with the other one is the same technique that I'm going to use with this one today. And that is where we're going to stencil it, but almost like a messy, blotchy look, so that it looks like it's faded over the years. So we're just gonna place this one right here. We're gonna stick it right on. And then how we're gonna stencil this one, we're gonna use the Maker Studio Chalk Art Paste. This one is the Hey Good Lookin'. The green's gonna match very nicely on the green of the original sign, and I thought that would be perfect. I'm gonna use the squeegee, and I'm just gonna focus mainly on the edges and a little bit on the corners, and that's how we're gonna go and do it. So I'm just gonna grab some, and then again, we're just gonna do it blotchy. So it's not gonna have, it's almost not gonna even make sense what I'm doing, but it'll all make sense once it's done. And if you watched the other video where I did the other one, the larger one, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so it'll all come together, but it's gonna look like it's faded over the years, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, that's it. We're gonna leave it there, and we're going to remove it. Look how pretty that looks. Oh, I love it. So it kind of looks like it had this design all over, and through the years it's faded and it's distressed, and I love that look. So we're gonna do that one, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other one. Grab it here, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna place another section of the stencil right on top. Oops. How beautiful is this stencil, by the way? Beautiful and reusable. It can't get better than that. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to just spread it mainly in the corners and the edges. And trust me, you can do this. This is so easy. I mean, you're basically just putting it on, and that's it. And that's it. We're not going to give it too much of it. I'm going to put the excess paste right on there. Okay. We're going to reveal this one. Look how pretty that looks. So you see how they're both complementary to each other, but they don't look exactly the same. That's the beauty of it. So I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go rinse this with some lukewarm water, and then we're gonna come back and finish them up. All right, so they're both dry. I'm gonna push one to the side, and now we're going to focus on this one. This is the stencil where the Forgiven stencil came from for this original one. And so that's where this one came from. I just cut it off from here. So we want to keep in the same feel and again complement them. So we're going to use this one right here. So I'm just going to cut it off. Although you don't have to, you can always tape around it if you need to, and use the whole stencil as it is. But I like to cut them because it just gives it a nice manageable size. All right, so we're going to place this one right on top, right in the center. Just like that. And now we're going to use the Slow as Molasses Chalk Art Paste. This is the color we used to create the background design on the original. So we're now going to use it to stencil the piece. So Because this is so close to the edges, I am going to tape around just a little bit so that I am not as nervous. Not nervous, but you know what I mean. So I don't have to be extremely careful when I am stenciling it. I get this masking tape at the Dollar Tree, and it's actually really good considering the price. All right, I think I should be good with that one. Let's just tape it just in case. All right, that should be good. So same thing, I'm going to use the paste and the squeegee, and we are going to just start stenciling it. This is my favorite part, is the stenciling, because it's so easy. Well, actually, my favorite part is revealing the stencil, because you just, it's so, like, there's so much satisfaction in seeing what you just created with minimal effort and minimal time. So we're just about done. All right. So we're going to put the excess right here back. There's not much, but all right. So now I am going to reveal it. I'm just going to remove the tape first. And there we go. Oh my goodness. This is so crisp, so beautiful. I love the way this looks. I just love it. So I'm gonna let this one dry. I'm gonna wash this one, and then we're gonna come back and finish the second one and put all three together and see how they look. So for this one, we're not gonna add any stenciling. We're going to actually complement the flower arrangement that the original had. So we're gonna use a similar leaf that we have. This is magnolia leaf, and I just keep taking it. I bought this, it's like a garland, and it had tons of it. And I think it was Hobby Lobby, and I've been pulling from it for months now. And yeah, I just love their leaves. Very realistic, and they even feel real, really good. All right, so what I'm imagining in my mind is this one's gonna go on the right side of the main sign. So I want to place a leaf just right around here, just kind of like just floating, floating in the air. So I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue. That's way too much, but it'll work. I'm just gonna put it right there. And I thought these cute little white flowers are perfect to complement the kind of like beigey flower that is on top of the original one. And I'll show you everything together. I'm gonna cut off some right here because it's a little too long. And I am going to cut this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue it right on top by adding just a little bit of glue. And then pushing this one right in there. Doesn't that look pretty? And then to finish it off, I'm going to grab this one and kind of cut off a little bit of that. And we're going to cover up this part right here, so it just looks a little bit more finished. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue, and I'm going to place it right there. That just kind of finishes it off, and I just think these look so adorable. I'm going to show you what they look like by themselves first. That's that. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like. Like this. This is what I envision in my mind. They complement each other. They look great together. They can go by themselves in a different shelf in a different part of your home, or they can go together as a set, and I absolutely love the way they turned out. So this is it for today, my friends. You're gonna have to let me know what you think of this craft. Is it something that you would like to redo at home? Let us know in the comments what you think of it. If you are visiting for the first time, don't forget to check out all the links down below in the description box where you can find all the items that we used today, as well as don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you do not miss any of the content. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, DIY Beauty on Purpose. And if you love what you see there, I hope you consider joining our YouTube family as well. Have fun creating and have a blessed day. Bye.